You have been respawned.
What's going on, everybody? We want to welcome you to another episode of the Jacob and Ashley Show.
The Ashley and Jacob Show.
And we're coming to you every Tuesday. You can currently find us on YouTube. Today's episode is episode number 4. And before we get started with our topics, Ash, what you been doing?
Well, last week, me, you, and KK.
Yes, that's our daughter.
Yes, that's her daughter.
I don't know why you sounded so confused about it.
I don't know. I wasn't sure. I was like, are we using her name?
We can use her name.
Okay, well, either way, last week we played Mario 3D World, and it was a blast.
Yep, that new Mario 3D World / Bowser's Fury that we were talking about a couple of episodes ago. We picked that up. We played just a little bit so far. Actually, the day we're recording this, we've only had it for maybe like a couple of hours.
Yeah, it was fun. We played like a couple of levels, a few levels. Mm-hmm. And then after we were done, my daughter put it on her handheld and literally played
her Switch Lite.
Multiple levels.
Yeah, she was going ham. She's been on a Mario kick since we got her Odyssey for Christmas.
Yeah.
So we got her Odyssey for Christmas. She didn't really like what was that one? The new Super Mario Brothers Wii. She wasn't really feeling that one.
Nah.
But the 3D Marios really seem to be her bag.
Yeah, she really loves them.
So, I've been having fun. I haven't had a chance to play it because the thing that I've been doing is playing Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. We're a co-op show, and I've been trying to get Ash to co-op with me. And I don't know if it's the schedules, if it's the timing. We have not co-opted this game together.
No, not really. It's the fact that it's not Breath of the Wild 2.
I mean, you're going to get that. Of course, you're going to want to play Breath of the Wild. I mean, it's clearly not Breath of the Wild, but you can't help that.
I know, but I sit there and watch you play it, and I'm like, I so wish this was Breath of the Wild.
Oh my gosh.
I can't get over it. I'm just like, I just want to play the new one. Who cares about the Warriors?
We've talked about Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild a few times on this podcast already in its infancy, but Hyrule Warriors, if anybody ever has played any Dynasty Warriors games, that's what Hyrule Warriors is. It's Dynasty Warriors meets Legend of Zelda. And the big thing for me, and I do feel it, because every time I play it, I'm just like, man, I really wish that this was just Breath of the Wild too. Because like, it's the same environment, it's the same graphics engine, a lot of the music is there, a lot of the nostalgia, the characters. So so it's a great game. But that's what I've been doing this week, is playing the Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, and Ashley has been playing Mario 3D World / Bowser's Fury.
Yes, with you.
Yes, with me.
Like, I didn't play it alone.
All right, so we're gonna do a little something. We're gonna bring it back this week. Last week in nerd news.
What's your surprise announcement?
It's not a surprise announcement.
I don't know what it is.
It's just I wanted to hide it from you.
Why?
Because I wanted you to be excited and I wanted you to hear it live.
Okay, we'll see if I'm excited. Don't be let down by my reaction.
True. I was not going to be, because you love this game. StarDew Valley dropped a new update on consoles. They added an entire new region of the world.
Oh my gosh!
They added new locations, dialogue, events, mini games, puzzles, and a quest line involving NPCs.
Really?
They added a new NPC, new secondary NPCs.
Oh my gosh!
Volcano
I'm sorry.
dungeon.
I'm literally like screaming for everything you're saying.
I know, it's
People
fine.
can't even see it.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. We're gonna try something new. We're gonna see if hopefully we can, and we can drop the link in the description to the full changelog. Basically, they completely made Stardew Valley like, hey, here's like new game. Here's more DLC content. So that's kind of the reason I was trying to hint at you to download Stardew Valley again today so we could play it together. So they got a whole bunch of stuff that we'll have to go into.
Excited.
So you'll probably see that on next week's What You Been Doing.
Yeah.
You'll probably see Stardew Valley.
Yeah, I literally killed Stardew Valley when it first came out. I didn't go too far, but I did go pretty far.
For those out of the know, Stardew Valley is kind of like a farming life sim meets a dungeon crawler.
Mm-hmm.
So you can set up your farm different materials and things like that. But on top of it, you can go do dungeon crawling, make new armor, make new friends, get married, go on mystical quests and stuff like that.
So happy.
And they've unlocked a completely brand new. What am I saying? They unlocked a completely new. They just made
DLC.
There's new DLC and all kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I did not know. I've been literally hoping, like, I wish they would do something and add something so I can explore more and do more things. Cause I'm not that person to like repeat games and just like, let me see if I get a different outcome where I won't.
Yeah, I've actually been hiding this from her for a few days now. I knew she was going to be excited, but I was like, let me just hold on to it. And I'm glad I held on to it. Ashley actually wanted to bring some of her own nerd news to the podcast.
Yeah, it's kind of nerd news and kind of not. If you're nerdy for food.
I don't think it's nerd news at all, but it's a big enough announcement. Ashley, take it away.
McDonald's is bringing back the high C orange drink. I'm so happy. Yeah. It's literally like it's always been my go-to drink since I was like a 7-year-old child. I have never not wanted it, and ever since it's been gone, I'm like, I just wish I just had my drink.
Yeah, as big as I am, I don't drink pop and juice from fast foods as much anymore. Like right after you met me, I really stopped drinking like pop and juice outside.
Yeah.
But when I did, okay, icy orange was the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to go over there and sample it when it comes back.
They better have it.
Yeah, apparently there's some kind of link you can go on and check and see if the high C orange is back in your area. So for all those high C orange fans out there, it's coming back. Okay, so we have a topic that we have been putting off since episode 1.
Yeah.
And we have mentioned it multiple times. And now is the time. Oh, and for anybody wondering, we'll talk about WandaVision next week. I promise.
Oh, it was so good.
It was. We're not going to make it a weekly breakdown, but we have to talk about it next week because, we're recording a little later this week. So we saw episode 6 and oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Well, so we won't be able to talk about it without spoiling it, and we want to give people time to see it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's stop talking about it because otherwise we have to remove a lot of show.
Yeah. Shh.
Okay, so our main topic for the week that we have been talking about since episode 1 and been putting on the back burner because we can talk about it for an entire episode is anime. Anime. So
you were supposed to do it again.
Huh?
You're supposed to say it one more time.
I'm sorry, y'all. Anime is, here's the thing. I feel like it's because let me back up. So who are we targeting, right? I think that's the big thing with this episode. I think this show is for people who have been interested in anime, even if you've seen it and you've been like, that's for weirdos. You know?
That's it. That seems for weirdos. That's for weirdos.
Right.
Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say which of your sisters, but I just imagine like your sister just like seeing us watch anime, like that's for weirdos. Like,
look, my sister has talked about anime, like ragged on it to me multiple times. I'm like, you don't know. You haven't even given it a try.
So if you don't know where to start. And I will also say, if you're somebody who's looking to get someone else into anime, I think a big problem that I see when people try to get people into anime is they're like, once you've watched anime for like a good 5-10 years, you are entrenched in the Japanese culture and the anime culture. And
Not
so
entrenched.
Oh, you're entrenched. Like I have a friend who shall remain nameless and therefore blameless. He will try to get his significant other into anime.
We all try.
Here's the thing. He would send her like these deep cut anime that like this, he was into this deep cut anime that was like super like you need to be like really into anime to like want to watch some of these shows that he
I
was
was like,
giving
don't
her.
do that. You ran her away.
He did. And I think like you have to like slowly walk people into a new like type of show because anime is like as deep as the ocean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm not going to push you off the ferry, you know what I'm saying, while we're on the way to Britain. You know, it's like, hey, just step your toe in the water. And I think that's what this is for. This is like, hey, I think these are some good shows. Like if all you've done all your entire life is just watch Western television, I think this is like a good starting point for anime, you know? So, so we can just go, So I think the first thing we need to do is figure out what is anime.
What is anime? It's a Japanese animation.
Yeah. Recently, anime has also extended into Chinese and American animation. The thing is, the distinction between anime and cartoons, and this is very distinct, is that they see anime as like a higher art form, character development and things like that. So when you talk about anime, it's going to be more geared to adults. So just in case you don't think you know any anime at all, it actually first came to the US with Astro Boy.
Yeah, I knew Astro Boy. Like, what was that? Like 1960s?
Something like that. I don't have the exact year. And then in between that, I remember when I was younger, my dad showed me Battle of the Planets, aka G-Force.
I don't know it.
It was like these little, basically imagine Power Rangers, but everybody had bird costumes.
So wait. Rewind. Your dad showed you anime?
Yeah.
Does he watch anime now?
No.
Oh, that's a shame.
I know. And he showed me like 3 anime when I was coming up.
Wow.
So he showed me Battle of the Planets, aka G-Force. He showed me Voltron,
okay,
which is also an anime. And then he also showed me Speed Racer.
Speed Racer, go Speed Racer.
I'm surprised you remember that theme song. I don't even remember the theme song. Did you?
I don't know if that's right.
At least you told the truth. I was like, oh, good for you, Ashley.
I'm pretty sure it's something like that.
Yeah. So yes, you got Speed Racer. Now the biggest one that came over that almost everybody knows is Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, I watched that when I was a kid.
If you haven't seen the anime, a lot of people saw the really crappy movie.
No.
You never saw the trashy DBZ movie?
I refused.
Okay. Yeah, I forget what they did to pick. It was so bad. You're
talking about the live action one, right?
Oh, yeah, the live action.
No, I just heard so much trash about it. I was like, I'll leave it alone.
Yeah, that was a good decision on your part. So I think before we get into our recommendations, Ashley, I think it would help to, I guess, give some tips and tricks, you know, that would help people into anime.
Okay. I would say the first thing is the 3-show rule, you know?
Well, now, what is the 3-show rule, Ashley?
It's where you don't stop watching an anime after the first episode.
Yep.
Because it just doesn't really give it enough time for you to really get into the anime. Because sometimes, you know, it's kind of like a pilot. You watch the first episode and it's not that great, you know? And you move on. And you watch the second and the third, and then you're in there and you're hooked.
Yeah, the third and the fourth.
Right. And then you're hooked and you just keep going and you just keep watching because, oh, you know, it started off a little bumpy, but now it's getting a little interesting.
Yeah, I think in anime, I feel like in American television, Western television, I think we normally, like our shows will set up much quicker.
Yeah.
For anime in particular, they take a little bit of setup.
There are some that don't take as much setup because there's a lot of animes out there that are like 13 episodes in a season.
Even then, I'm just like, it's still like they may give you like, oh, this is good from like episode 1.
Yeah.
But really, you don't really have a full understanding of what the show is until you're 3 episodes in. Like,
yeah, I've watched like an anime. I don't remember which one it was, but it was like 13 episodes. And I got like halfway through for when it was like, oh, now here are some more characters that came out of nowhere. I'm like, we're like almost done with this season. We're like, how can you bring a connection between these people in 6 episodes?
Right.
But they do it somehow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think that's a good one, the 3-show rule. I think the other one is have an open mind.
Yep.
Because you have to remember, especially with the anime that we're going to recommend to you today, that this is Eastern culture. This is specifically, this is Japanese culture compared to American culture. Now, again, it's American culture in the same way that, you know, Fresh Prince or Family Matters represents the American household. You know what I mean?
Yes.
If you don't, you can say you don't.
I kind of do and I kind of don't.
Well, you would say, like, if you watched Fresh Prince or if you watched Family Matters, they're like, it has the semblance of a family, like, say, you know, a black family.
Yeah, like the American culture family.
Yes.
I get it.
But if you looked at it and tried to take it like one for one and like translate it exactly to like, this is how black households function, you'd be like, nah, fam. You know what I mean? Like, there's specific parts.
They're too happy. I'm just kidding. We had a happy family. I'm just kidding.
I'm telling you.
But you know, they do that. They overdo the happiness. That's the truth.
Are you really? I think you having cries for help on the show, man. She's just like, every week is just like a secret message.
Shut up. No, it's not.
But yeah, I think you have to have an open mind because the shows are going to show you this for a few of these, especially a couple of these that we're going to recommend. A few of these are just going to hit you with Eastern culture super hard. Right.
They're not like American live TV at all.
From everything to their religion, you know, they practice Shinto and things like that, like their beliefs, and that stuff is put into the show, you know, and obviously Western TV, specifically American TV, is more than not centered around the fact that everybody, even if you don't believe in Jesus, you heard of Jesus, you know?
Yeah, that's true, sort of, yeah. Nowadays, they don't really do that as much.
Even still, though, like, even if the show is, like, very hard leaning left, like, there's still, like, some element of the church in there and influences.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
I guess so.
Because it's Western culture.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of stuff is just woven into our culture.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, well, the last tip would be a lot of anime is more geared to adults. Mm-hmm. It's not so, you know how American cartoons are more geared to kids? Mm-hmm. It's not.
With a couple of exceptions.
Yeah, there's a couple of exceptions. You know, you go to Adult Swim, there's more adult type cartoons out there, or Comedy Central, whatever.
Your Rick and Morty, Simpsons.
Yeah, Fox
Family
News,
Guy.
You know.
No, not Fox News. Fox. Dear God.
Fox
We're not,
Channel.
No, I'm about to cut it out. Just don't even start. This is not a political show. We're a happy show.
I just said Fox Channel.
Happy show.
Fox.
Happy show.
Really, though.
Happy show.
Anyways, like Bart Simpson, like The Simpsons and all them. Mm-hmm. Japanese animes are just not like American. It really does gear itself more toward adults, even if it is set in like a high school or what else.
I think that's valid. Like, even if you're in high school, or I've even seen one where they're set with middle schoolers.
Yeah.
But the content that they're delivering to you, and specifically the character development in anime, and the themes, that's what's going to set it apart from regular cartoons. I
think it's because Japanese anime, when it comes to like relationships, they really go super mild. Like, even if it's in a romantic relationship, they go super mild. So it's not like you're watching kids like falling in love and it's like, I don't care about this. It's not like that. It's just super mild, like school romance. And you can still relate to it even as an adult.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing, too, is in a lot of the anime, especially this with the stuff we're going to recommend to you today, when you see kids in the anime, just know they about to go through some messed up stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that's just because I don't even know. It's weird that they aged their characters up. You know what I mean? And when I say messed up, I don't mean like Ashley and I have a very, very, very thick line when it comes to what we'll watch and what we won't watch. Like, there's a lot of stuff that we're not going to watch. But when I say they go through some stuff, I'm talking like they will go to the situations and they will approach them with the level of thinking and logic that some adults lack.
Yeah, and I don't even know if that's due to the culture because, a lot of like they kind of put their adult age is kind of like lower. It's like, isn't it like 16?
Yeah, but at the same time, it may, again, we're not going to speculate about how Japanese society is run. I don't think we're here for that.
Okay.
I think it's just, you'll just see it in how Japanese anime is presented.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Okay. So we're going to move on just a little bit. The last thing is kind of understanding Japanese culture. It's not really tropes, but just kind of understanding some things that you'll see in anime that you won't necessarily see in American animation.
Yeah.
Like, for one thing, the bloody nose.
Yes, the bloody nose.
I don't think there's any bloody noses in these animes. Normally in shonen, but not in these.
If we talk about shonen.
Yeah, we'll
if we
get
talk
it.
about a shonen, there's a lot of
normally
that.
The bloody nose is basically like when a male character is
excited.
A male character is excited.
Let's say excited.
Yes, excited. He'll get a bloody nose. Normally, like, things like a water drop on the forehead means that they're embarrassed.
Yeah, or nervous.
Yeah, or nervous. The big one, though, is like the kneeling versus bowing. Basically, the more that a character bows is basically like the more respectful they are. So if you ever see a character like bow prostrate in front of somebody, it's not because they're worshiping them. It's just because they're giving them the ultimate amount of respect. So normally, like, you'll see it if they're asking for forgiveness, like the deepest forgiveness.
Or begging.
Yep, or begging. Or sometimes they just want to say thank you. So they'll like bow, like almost prostrate. So you'll see that when they're just saying like they're giving their sincerest thanks.
Yeah.
So little things like that you'll see as well, just to be aware of. Now the other thing is there are different genres. We're not going to go too deep.
There's too many.
There are, but the one genre that just about everybody knows that have been around anime,
or even not been around anime in America.
Yeah. Is the shonen genres. Now this is your Dragon Ball Z, your One Piece, your Naruto. I hate when people say Naruto, by the way.
Who says Naruto?
People, listen, lots of people still say Naruto.
Why? Is that what?
Naruto.
I've never heard that in my life.
Naruto. Anyway, Hunter x Hunter. And we even have one that we're going to recommend, a shonen, but normally these are like super action oriented. A lot of these are going to be lengthier anime, so you're going to see a lot of these over 100 episodes. I think Yu Yu Hakusho is also considered a shonen.
Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah, the one with the spirit gun, spirit finger, whatever it is. He's in the demon realm in the faceless town, and I'm out of the need the touch of a friend.
Yu Yu Hakusho?
Yeah.
You talking about the one I introduced you?
You didn't introduce me to no Yu Yu Hakusho. Stop it.
I'm the one that told you about it.
You
and I told you should watch it.
I watched Yu Yu Hakusho in high school. I just didn't watch all of it.
Oh, you just rewatched it.
Yeah, I just rewatched it. I only watched maybe 15.
Oh, my bad. Well, I originally watched it in middle school. I thought I had told you about it. Yeah, I remember Yu Yu Hakusho. I used to love the anime. I don't remember a lick about it.
It actually holds up really well. Just on a side note, it wasn't on the list of our things because it's just a little bit. It's not even a little bit deep. It's really deep.
How many episodes is there?
I think maybe 150.
Really?
Yeah, that's why it's not on the list.
Yeah, I stopped real short.
That's why it's not on the list. Just because but if you just really want a good anime that's old but holds up well, like, you got to give you.
I do remember it being very good. I remember that, but that is about it. Like, that was what got me. That is the anime that got me into like anime.
Wow. It also goes really deep into Japanese culture too, which is another reason why it's not on the list, because you kind of deal with demons and that kind of stuff. It's not for everybody.
No,
the demons are the villains.
Also, like, that is another thing. That's a Japanese trope right there. The demons are not the same as like American demons.
No, they're not servants of Beelzebub. The demons are literally just in the culture, normally as evil entities, normally as antagonists. They don't hold the same amount of weight on their demons and spirits as we do on our demons and spirits.
Yeah.
I think the last thing before we move on is just to talk a little bit about old school anime versus new school anime.
Yeah.
So I would say once Adult Swim got on the scene, I think it was like maybe 2004, 2005, somewhere around there.
A little before then.
A little bit before then. That's really when anime started changing. Before then, you had a lot of translation issues. You'd have like bad translations completely changing how scenes were. Or if you ever saw Speed Racer, they had to match the lip flaps on them. So that's why all the characters talk like super fast. Like, Trixie, this is the thing that I'm going to do, and I'm going to race, and now we're going to race, and I'm going to beat them. When we race, and we're going to race, and I'm going to be the best racer on the planet.
I had no idea.
You had no idea that's why they did that?
No.
They were trying to match
I totally forgot that they talked.
Yeah, they were trying to match the lip flap. So they're just like talking super fast.
I'm sorry, that's so funny.
Or like back in the day, they would also just completely censor Japanese culture. So I'm going to try to remember to put this pick up. But there's this infamous thing with Brock from Pokemon, and he's sitting and he's like, we're gonna eat some jelly donuts, and they're clearly like rice balls, like formed rice balls with like seaweed on it, you know, the triangle rice balls.
What, really?
Yeah, and he's like, we're gonna eat some jelly donuts, and I was a kid like, oh, those are jelly donuts. They're not jelly donuts. So
that is
like
weird.
Yeah. Or there was just extreme censorship. So like Yu-Gi-Oh, which is a card anime, they literally just like pointed curved fingers and just edited the guns out. One Piece, basically almost anything that was made by 4Kids back in the day. So One Piece lost cigarettes and stuff for lollipops and all kind of other. I forget what they did to Smoker. They changed Smoker out completely because, you know, he smokes 2 cigars at a time.
I didn't even know One Piece was in 4Kids at all.
Yep,
I never got to see it on TV.
That's why a lot of people got turned off to One Piece. And then Funimation took it over and completely redid the dub, left the original animation and stuff in, and it was a much better anime the second time around. Now, where to find anime? Where can you find anime?
You can find it on Netflix.
Yep.
Hulu.
Yep.
Funimation.
Yep.
Crunchyroll.
Yep.
HBO Max. And Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime. I forget the name of their service. So Netflix and Hulu, obviously, we're going to try to keep our recommendations to Netflix and Hulu. But Funimation and Crunchyroll are specific anime services. Now, again, we are Team Dub. So what that means is the anime that we like to watch has been translated and the voice actors are actually speaking English.
Yes.
Subbed is English subtitles. So for obvious reasons, we like the anime that has people speaking English just because we enjoy watching it from that context.
I mean, it's not obvious reasons.
Okay, I think that's fair. It's not obvious.
We just like watching dubbed because we don't got time to read stuff all the time. You know, we don't got time to be having our eyes glued to the screen.
Yes.
We got kids.
Yeah. But if you want it in its original state, then subtitle anime is well out there. Crunchyroll specifically specializes in just sub. They just bring the content over. Funimation is the one that takes the time to dub it. So everything that we're going to recommend is where you can find the dub. For the most part, the subs are available both on Netflix and Hulu. There's basically a few exceptions where that's not the case, but wherever we say that it's available, that is where the dub is.
Yeah, Netflix is also like on fire with anime right now. Like, I feel like they might eventually become a close second to Funimation.
They are okay. Let's talk about the cons of each service. Okay. Netflix's con is that for American audiences, Western audiences, they drop an entire season at the same time.
Yeah.
Funimation has a big pro where they drop the content like on a set schedule. But the problem with Funimation is their service. You have to know where to watch it. I'll say that. Let's say that. Like, if you're going to watch Funimation and get a subscription, then you have the free 30 days or whatever it is. But you need to watch it via like Roku or your Google, what's that called? It's not a Google Chrome. Is it Chrome?
Yeah, it's Google Chrome.
Chromecast. You need to watch it via Google Chromecast or certain TV. Like, we have a Samsung TV, smart TV, and we watch it via that with few issues. But if you try to watch it don't watch it from a PlayStation 5. Whatever you do, don't watch it from a PlayStation 5. PlayStation
or 4.
That's what I mean, a PlayStation 4. Do not watch it from a PlayStation 4. We don't have a PlayStation 5.
Yeah, I don't know, but for some reason, Funimation's app is just not equal on every device.
Yeah. So Funimation has the better content, but their app is not the best. Hulu, their big problem for me is
They're behind.
they are behind. They do have some good anime that is still on there, but they don't have anything that's modern.
They used to be like Netflix. I used to go to Hulu
Same.
to get my anime fix
Same.
like all the time.
Yeah. And then also when Hulu does get anime, they normally do get anime way behind, like you said. So even if they get a modern anime, normally you're going to be like 1 to 2 years behind. But again, for people just getting into anime, it's going to be great for you. Okay. And then Crunchyroll is going to have all the new stuff, but it's basically just going to be subtitled. They do have some dub stuff, but it's normally just going to be English subtitles.
Right.
And I'm not too familiar with HBO Max. I just know they have Hunter x Hunter on there.
Yeah, I don't know if they have anything else to mention.
Yep. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you different genres, different shows, and we're going to try to relate the shows and maybe even movies into different anime.
Yes, we're going to give you different American shows and movies to relate them to an anime you could watch.
So our first genre is action adventure.
Yay.
So this is your Marvel, your X-Men, Jurassic Park, Jumanji, The Matrix. Everybody got that, knows what the action adventure is, right?
Yeah.
So what is our first anime, Ashley? Kick us off.
Our first anime is Mag Mel.
Now, this is available on Netflix.
Yes.
So Mag Mel is an anime where a continent pops up like out of nowhere. Has all kind of new creatures, new fauna, new environment, but the environment is super deadly.
Oh my gosh.
Like imagine like a Jurassic period, but even crazier than that.
Imagine Australia on 10,000.
Yep.
Just do that.
Yeah. So it centers, instead of it centering around adventurers like most anime does, it actually centers around a rescue person called an angler. And basically if you follow him as he deals with explorers and other situations.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty fun one. Now I forgot to mention too, a lot of this stuff, again, we're talking about stuff for adults. So
yes, that one, Mag Mel, is pretty violent.
Yeah.
So if you got a kid, don't watch it with them.
This ain't stuff to watch with kids around.
No, not at all.
Another one is One Punch Man. One Punch Man is also one of the ones that kind of subverts the genre, because One Punch Man is all about your superheroes, but he literally can defeat all of the villains in one punch.
Yes.
And he's literally the strongest person in the universe.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's funny though, because there's a lot of people who actually don't even know about him.
No.
Because he does it so fast, they don't even see him.
It's not even that. I really like how they get into like what happens when the strongest person ever is unknown and nobody knows his name.
Yeah, it's crazy how they like make it work in him just not being seen or noticed as a huge superhero. It's just like, we don't know what happened all of a sudden.
Yeah. One Punch Man it's a really good anime. It's it's just one of those ones where they just do so much different that you can really enjoy the ride.
Yeah, if you really get excited by like Marvel movies, One Punch Man will hype you up.
Yeah. Now the next anime, I describe it as X-Men meets, well, I say X-Men meets Dragon Ball Z, but you may or may not get that reference. But if you like X-Men, My Hero Academia scratches that itch. It's basically about people that have literally mutated to have superpowers.
Yeah, they weren't born with them.
Remember there's like that like toe metatarsal or something like that?
Eventually they were born with them from parents who just got them.
Yeah, remember they just evolved to have. So I think it was like 90% of the world has superpowers. So it revolves around a kid. What's his name? Midoriya. Izuku Midoriya, and he goes to a school that basically teaches kids how to be superheroes.
Yes.
Now this is a very small spoiler, but early on he idolizes a superhero. And basically within, I think like the first episode or so, he ends up meeting the #1 hero in the world.
Yes. And Midoriya does not have any powers.
None at all. And so basically he finds a way to get superpowers and become a superhero, even though superpowers are supposed to be genetically, you're born with them.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. I'm sorry. See, I don't talk description because I'm like, I'm going to spoil it.
It's a really good one. Now, this is probably the longest anime that we're going to talk about, that we're going to recommend, just because it has, I think, like 4 seasons right now.
Yes.
I forgot. One Punch Man, the dub is on Hulu. And then My Hero Academia, you can find the dub on Hulu. If you give Funimation a try, you can find it on Funimation as well.
Yeah.
Next up, Ashley, go ahead and take the next one.
The next genre is workplace comedies.
Like what?
Like Scrubs, The Office, Parks and Rec, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, all those where they're just in their workplace, having fun, being silly as can be. These are the animes you want to start with if you like those shows.
Okay, so what's the first one?
All right, so the anime you can go to if you like those kinds of shows is Cells at Work. You can find it on Netflix.
Yep.
It is kind of like Osmosis Jones, sorta, in a much like they paint the characters much more direct to what they are and how they work in the body.
Yeah, they kind of get like, like the T cells and the white blood and the red blood cells.
Yeah, they basically tell you, like, if you are going to school and you want a fun way to learn anatomy, this show will teach you.
It will. It's like if the magic school bus got attacked and had to kill viruses on the regular.
Exactly. It basically turns like how your body works almost into an action, but it's also a comedy because there's some funny things that happen as well.
Yeah, it's a crazy show. Yeah,
I don't know if we'll ever really suggest any animes that are not for that are for kids.
Yeah. And again, if you're listening to the show and you're just a fan of anime, maybe you might find a new anime that you've never seen. The next one is one of my favorites. I will say that it kind of doesn't finish the overarching story, but it was just so good that we had to recommend it. And that's The Devil is a Part-Timer.
Yes.
Now, the thing is, this is one of those Eastern to Western culture things. The actual show in Eastern culture is called The Demon Lord Works at McDonald's or something like that.
I'm sorry.
They translated it to say the devil is a part-timer, which is kind of dumb. Basically, this demon lord gets transported to our Earth and he works at a parody of McDonald's. Yeah.
And some funny things happen to him.
Serious comedy ensues. Now, this is one that you can find on Netflix and Hulu, but it's only the sub. Sorry. The dub is on Funimation. Last we checked.
Yeah.
And then the last one, I'm going to let Ashley take this one. It's Kakurio, Bed and Breakfast for Spirits.
Yes. This is basically about a girl who basically she loses like all her family.
She does?
Yeah, like.
I thought it was just her grandpa that died.
But yeah, all her other family is not there. I'm pretty sure they passed on as well.
Yeah.
And her last living relative, she passed on as well. And she's basically lonely and just walking through the world. And she is, what's the word? She meets a demon.
She meets a demon.
Yeah, she meets a demon. And he basically tells her that she owes him for her grandfather's debt. And I think her grandfather basically like sold her to work for him.
Oh yeah, because he didn't like bet her or something.
Yeah, it was something like that. And she just could not believe this.
And so she went to go work off her grandfather's debt.
Yeah, no, that's not all. It was she also had to marry him.
She did?
Yes.
Oh, that's right. So she made the proposal. She makes the proposal to basically work off the debt instead.
Yeah, because she doesn't want to marry him.
Right. But she goes to the spirit realm and basically is like, I'm trying to open up her own bed and breakfast and make money. Was it just wasn't it just a restaurant, or was it an actual bed and breakfast?
She made her own restaurant
In the
and
hotel.
then she also it was separate from the hotel.
I thought it was like on the same grounds as the hotel.
It's on the same grounds, but it's not attached to the hotel.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, she goes to work at this hotel as like a hostess, on top of also starting her like own little restaurant on the side, because the demons really love like human food.
Yeah.
And she knows how to make it the best.
She does.
And they really enjoy it. And there's also like a feud between that breakfast hotel that she's working at and another breakfast hotel.
You are going deep right now.
Yeah. But either way, they go on and things happen as usual in all anime. Something happens. But I think we were kind of left on it wasn't
I thought we finished it. No, we finished it.
It was just a one season anime?
1 or 2. I can't remember. But it was an extended season, so maybe like 24 episodes.
Yeah. It's been a minute, but it was a good anime.
It was. It's probably the more serious out of the 3 that we've mentioned.
Yeah, there are funny parts to it. Like, it's slice of life. Like,
What is slice of life, Ashley?
Slice of life is like an anime that kind of like just brightens up your heart. You know, if you could like put that into a show, it's just something that brings you happiness when you watch it. Like, it's really like lighthearted. Even though there are serious things that go on, it still brings you lightheartedness. So like if I'm feeling down or something, or in like a darker place, I like to watch Slice of Life, because even if there are bad things happening, they find a way to make it into a good thing.
Yeah, I don't know if it's always lighthearted, but basically, because I had to look it up, basically it's literally a cutout sequence of events in a character's life.
Yeah.
So they're literally just slicing you out life. So,
but it's always like, but it's still like, even though that is the way, Slice of Life still like, I've not found a slice of life that has made me like unhappy or stressed out.
that is true. If anytime you do have a slice of life, there is some, we'll talk about one later, but there is some anime that just, it literally won't have any conflict or anything like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to move on to the next one. Now, this is a little bit more of a heavy topic. We're going to kind of start getting the heavy hitters.
I'm going to give this more to Jacob because he's more into this genre than I am. So I don't know a lot of animes that go here.
And that's okay.
I will interject where needed.
So this is the political thrillers / crime genre. So if you're a fan of 24, Scandal, Marvel, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Law and Order, CSI, like if you're a fan of any of these shows where it just gets into the nitty and gritty, this is going to be the shows for you. The first show that I'm going to recommend is a show by the name of Code Geass, specifically Lelouch of the Rebellion.
And what is Code Geass? What is it about?
So Code Geass, I put this more into the political thrillers. It centers around Lelouch of the Rebellion.
What is Lelouch?
Lelouch is his name. That's literally
Oh,
his
that's
name.
a person.
Lelouch v. Britannia.
Okay, so it centers around a person.
Yes.
By that name.
Yes. Now, he is not, I think this is a minor spoiler. He's not a crown prince, but he is a part of a royal family.
Okay.
And he basically meets this girl that gives him the power to, I forget what happens, like early on, I think him and his friend accidentally take a left turn or something and they get involved. And basically he ends up getting like hunted by the police, like wanted really quick. But he meets this girl and she gives him this power that lets him give a command one time to anybody and they have to follow it.
Wow, that's powerful.
Yes. Now, I think he has to make eye contact with him. So the power that he gets is called the geass, and I think other geass users that have other type of powers, then I think they're immune to it.
So this is a world where people have powers.
No, it's literally like maybe 5 to 10 people
Okay, so it's just some random people?
Yes.
Is it random people or is it chosen people?
I can't remember if it's random, chosen, or people of the royal bloodline. It's been very long.
All right.
But what I do remember is that the drama, the webs and the intertwining and the pulling of the strings behind the scenes and everything that was going on, I remember it being very intense.
Yeah, I remember you watching that one. I couldn't get into it because of the art in it. But some people, if you're just getting into anime, it won't even bother you.
We've said this before, Ashley is a graphic snob.
I'm a graphic snob. I'm an art snob when it comes to like animes or cartoons. I don't know. If my eyes just don't like what I'm seeing, I just can't hear what you're saying. On a cartoon, not like a person or something. That's real shallow. Yeah. But like on a cartoon or anime, I just can't do it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's Code Geass. Again, if I get too deep into it, I'll just get into spoilers. So the only thing I'll say is like within the opening. Actually, I'm not even gonna say that.
You can find that on Netflix.
You can find it on Netflix in the dub. Now, obviously, this is on Funimation as well. But yeah, you can find this on Netflix. Then there is Psychopaths.
I watched that with you, right?
You did.
That was crazy.
We're basically at the end of season 1 and you've had it on hold forever.
I'm sorry. I will. Okay, y'all, look. If you really like these kind of American shows, I'm sure you won't mind a show like Psychopaths. It is a darker anime.
What was that show called with the little people, the premonition people that were sitting in the thing? Remember they would lay in the juice and they would say like, this crime is going to happen in 5 days.
I don't know what the heck you were talking about.
I'm talking about?
In what?
I'm going to add this to the list. I'm going really off script right now. I'm going to look it up real quick.
I'm like, what are you talking about? They're in some juices and say this crime will happen.
But okay, Minority Report.
I didn't watch this.
You never watched Minority? That's right. You don't like this genre. Minority Report.
It sounds creepy, y'all.
They have this system. I got to find a picture of it now. The people literally lay in like this. It's not water, but it's like juice. They lay in this fluid.
That's just creepy.
They predict crimes.
Did I watch that with you?
No. Well, Psychopaths is like that. So everybody has a psychometer, a psychopath. You have to basically take care of your own psychopaths.
Are we talking about psychopaths or that juice thing?
We're back to psychopaths.
Like I'm so confused.
And everybody has a crime coefficient, and if you exceed the accepted threshold, then at that point you are just considered like you're a criminal. Yes,
and you're gonna get taken in.
Yes, so
or possibly killed.
It centers around and if it's like so high, they just instantly kill you or something.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just like you're done.
Yeah. So it centers around a cop and her partner as they go through and just take on exceedingly crazy cases.
Yeah, it is kind of dark. That's why I paused it because I was just like, my brain can't handle this right now. What was that at the beginning of the pandemic?
No, this is way before, girl.
It was okay. It was after a traumatic.
I'm pretty sure this is 2 houses ago.
It was after a traumatic event happened in my life, and I just couldn't handle it at the moment. I was like, I can't do this. Yeah. We just gotta pause it, and we gonna get back to it.
When she's ready, she has forbid me from watching this, but when she's ready, we're gonna get back into it. Now you can find this one on Hulu. Then there's also Tiger and Bunny. Now, Tiger and Bunny starts out around the superhero genre, but once you get, I think, like maybe 4 or 5 episodes in, it really kind of gets into that crime genre more because there's an overarching plot. Basically, let me go back. Tiger and Bunny is a show about 2 superheroes that have the same kind of power.
Aren't they kind of like Transformers?
No, they look like Transformers, but they're not. They're just people.
Yeah, they're people inside of it.
No, that's their armor.
That's their armor?
Yeah.
Well, they look like little tiny Transformers.
They do. I will give you that. They do look like little. It's not even. They look like more like They look like Henshin. That's like the power. They look like Power Rangers or something. Like Ultraman.
And Tiger and Bunny isn't like their code name. It's not like their real superhero name, right?
Correct. Because his name is the new guy. Basically, there's a veteran superhero Tiger, and he's starting to get up there in years. And there's a younger guy, Barnaby is actually his name. But he calls him Bunny because he's irritated because they basically saddle him with a younger guy that has his same exact power.
Yeah, that's
like
funny.
They literally can go they have super strength for like maybe like 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like it only lasts so long.
Right. So, but it's weird because the superheroes in this, they have like a competition. And they have it all on a TV show, and corporations sponsor them.
Yeah,
and they have like
they're kind of like race car drivers, but as superheroes.
Yeah, they're race car drivers, but superheroes.
Yeah.
So it'll be legitimate, like a real crime going down, and like real hostages, and then there'll be like helicopters filming everything and showing it off live.
And they get like points at the end of it.
They do.
Once they like finish the challenge of finding the criminal or getting the criminal.
Yep. But a couple episodes in, it gets dark real quick. Not like super dark, but it gets dark enough where you get invested in like what the heck is going on.
For some reason, I did not finish that. I'm going to have to watch that again.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I think I had you hold for me, and then by the time you got around it, we just had so many like animated to watch that we just didn't get around watching it.
I thought we were just watching it on our own time, and you finished it.
I didn't finish it.
Oh.
I stopped at a certain point because I'm waiting for you.
Oh, that's what it was. I started watching it, and you made me stop.
I was like, how?
That's what happened. You made me stop, and then you were like, I'm just going to watch it up to where you are, and we'll watch it together.
Yeah. I know that for Western audiences, we're like really used to superhero anime. I mean, we're really used to superheroes, but for superheroes and anime that aren't just like Power Rangers, like this is new, and they're more like the One Punch Man, My Hero Academia, and Tiger and Bunny are all different spins on your kind of Western trope superhero.
Yeah,
but yeah, so she was watching that, and I was like, what? You know, I want to see this. So she paused it, and I caught up, and now I'm waiting for her. Okay, so the next genre, since I talked a whole lot, I'm gonna let Ashley take it away.
All right, the next genre is mystery and supernatural.
Like what kind of shows?
Like Lost or Fringe or X-Files ish. Because Fringe kind of
X-Files, that's a good one.
Yeah, Fringe goes along with X-Files because X-Files is a more popular show that probably people know more than Fringe. I feel like I find more people that don't know what Fringe is, but Fringe was a really good American show.
Okay. So what kind of anime would fit into this genre?
There is an anime called Durarara.
Now, where can they find this?
They can find this on Hulu.
So what is Durarara?
Okay, look. So here's the thing. I'm watching this anime because Jacob has put me into this anime. It is a good anime, but it's very confusing to me.
It's the worst mistake I ever made in my life. Like, Ashley is the kind of person where if she doesn't know what's going on right now, like, especially if she's catching up to me, she will expect for me to explain all the spoilers 30 episodes in advance.
I need to know what's happening.
I don't appreciate it. So I've learned to do this thing where if we're watching something that I've already seen, I will just tell her what I was thinking exactly at the time I saw the episode.
There is a lot of mystery in this anime.
Yes.
So it will keep you wanting to know what's going on.
I think people are still trying to figure out the mystery of what this show is because we haven't told them yet.
It's Durarara.
Oh my gosh. I'll take it then. So Durarara, 3 Ras, is a show that centers around a high schooler. Again, we talked about high schoolers and how anime is more for adults. The high schooler is surrounded by Yakuza. What's that thing from Ichabod Crane? The Headless Horseman. But the Headless Horseman is known as a Dullahan, and it's a female. But the Dullahan, she's lost her head.
And she can't find it. She's looking for it,
and
like through the episodes.
All through the show.
Yeah, all through the seasons.
And she doesn't have her memory. It's dealing with Psyche, possibly Loki. We haven't really figured. There's so many different references.
They're basically just tons of fables across the continent.
No, across the world.
Well, I'm sorry. I don't know why I said continent because I meant continents.
Oh, okay. But yeah, they basically pull from fable and lore and mythology from all across the world and inject it into the show.
Yeah. It's not a regular, what do you call it, reality. It's not a normal reality. This is not something that you should be taking seriously. Like, do they think this is how the world is?
But it's really closely rooted in like today's world, though.
Yeah, it is. They have a close connection, and they almost make it like this is regular life with a little twist.
Yeah, that's why Lost is like a perfect thing, because it's like this is the real world, but there's some weird stuff going on.
Yeah, that's exactly how the Fringe is too. Like it's normal stuff, but then there's like these secret things that you don't know what's going on, or that you don't know that it's even happening.
Right. Yeah. So for the average person in the world, they're just living their life. But for the people that are intertwined and all the strings being pulled together and everything's interwoven, like, so one person sneezes and it affects somebody 3 blocks away.
Yeah.
I mean, now we know it. That's the other thing too, is they let you in on it, that everybody's lives are interwoven.
Yeah, we know it, but they don't know it. The characters don't know it.
I think it's just a trope. I think it's just a entertainment trope. So yeah, so the people's lives are intertwined. It pulls you behind the curtain and lets you see how their lives are intertwined and how they are affecting everybody else, but they don't really know it. Another one, I don't know. Actually, have you seen this next one? Death Note. Have you seen that?
I have seen maybe an episode or two, but for some reason it was back when I originally watched it, because I watched it when it had first come out on Adult Swim, and I just wasn't feeling the darkness of it. I wasn't feeling it. I'm not really a dark person, I'm just not into that. Right, I don't like the art was dark, and I'm just not into that.
Okay, so Death Note deals with a character named Light Yagami. He finds literally the god of death. He finds Death's notebook. Anybody's name that he writes in the notebook, unless he names a cause of death, they will die within 5 minutes from a heart attack.
I got a question.
Sure.
What happened to Death?
He shows up. I think his name is Farouk or Farouk.
He's like, you got my book.
Yeah, he shows up in there, and I forget. I think it also says, like, if you write in this book, then he'll like take your soul or something.
Oh, why did he write in the book?
So here's the thing. Light decides to use this power for good.
So wait, that's his name,
I wish you could
Light?
see my air quotes. For good. And he decides to kill criminals.
He's a vigilante.
Yes, he's a vigilante. And so the cops start hunting him because obviously somebody is killing a bunch of people. So they hire this very eccentric detective. His name is L. That's his code name is L. And you don't know his name at all. And it basically centers around this conflict between Light Yagami and the detective L, and how exactly, that all works with them together.
That's funny. Like, how would you even find him? I'm like, he's literally just writing people's names down in the book. How you know where he is?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So because basically he sees like the people do the crime, I think, and then he writes their names in the book. And then it goes crazy from there.
I'm assuming L is like some sort of supernatural detective or something for him to be able to... No?
Again, this is one of those, it's the real world, just there's one really weird thing going on.
Okay.
There is something that does happen midway through the show that a lot of people, I'm not going to say what it is. It just happens. And a lot of people feel some type of way about it. Take a week off, take 2 weeks off, and then jump back in after that, because it does get a little bit better.
Maybe I will have to watch it.
When it happens, you'll know when it happens.
You're making me feel like I need to watch it a little more.
I think it's in my top 5 anime of all time. The thing that happens in the middle is the only reason that it pushed it down. Is
it like Glenn dying in Walking Dead?
I'm not telling you what happens.
But is it like that?
That it pushed people out the show?
Yeah.
Yes, that it pushed people out the show. It was that big. It was just like people were just like, oh no, you can't do that.
We literally stopped watching Walking Dead when Glenn died. I was just like, nope, can't do it. I'm done.
Okay. Next one up, I think Ashley. Oh, and in case I didn't say it, you can find Death Note on Netflix and Hulu for the dub.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the next one up is next genre up is the sci-fi genre.
Yeah.
So your Star Trek fans, your Doctor Who fans, your Stargate fans, this is the genre for you. This is where you got to jump in. So we're going to get a little deep and dark, and then after that, we're going to get a little happy and dark. So the first one is a show by the name of Steins Gate.
Okay. I don't know. I haven't watched that, have I?
Yeah, remember we just watched the episode before we recorded just so you could see it.
I watched one episode.
It's one of those ones I just left Ashley. Like we talked about earlier, we have a lot of anime pending, do rah rah rah, psychopaths. I was watching Steins Gate and I made an executive decision. I was like, I'm watching this.
I really had no interest in watching it, honestly.
After you saw episode 1 and a little bit of episode 2.
I'm like in the middle still because I was very confused.
Three
I know.
episodes. This is where it comes.
I know.
The 3-episode rule.
I wasn't even all the way into episode 2, so I'm like, maybe it would have got me by episode 3.
Yeah. Because I mean, even after episode 1, she was kind of like, okay. So the only thing that I'll say about Steins Gate is that it centers around time travel. And then it centers around a guy named Ocarine. He's this crazy scientist.
He's real interesting.
He calls himself Heion Kiyoma or something like that.
Yeah. He wants to be like an evil.
Kiyoma.
Does he want to be like an evil scientist?
So it's basically like his persona that he takes on, like a stage.
He's a serious character.
He is a serious character. He makes the show. Like I'm watching the alternate timeline.
You know who he's like?
Who?
He's like Doc from Back to the Future.
Yes. I'm watching the alternate timeline and his personality is so different. I forgot how out there he is.
Yeah, he's out
the
there.
Actual anime. So Steins Gate deals around time travel, has a very good cast of characters, good conspiracies going on. You know, you got to have your good conspiracies and the technology and they kind of deal a little bit in science and it's just crazy. It's crazy fun. Crazy fun, crazy good.
And the next anime is
this is yours. This
is mine. This is mine. This is another anime. This is the second anime that sucked me even further into watching anime in my middle school years.
Oh, before you say that, I forgot. Steins Gate, you can find it on Hulu, but that's only the sub. If you want to find the English dub, Funimation only. Sorry. Go ahead, Ash.
Alrighty. So this anime that sucked me further into anime is Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
Now, Ashley actually showed me. I've never watched it, and I finally watched it last year, I think. Mm-hmm. It was really good.
It is. It's just like, it sucks you in there, and then it kind of has a lot of twists and turns.
Yeah.
It's centered around a bounty hunter by the name of
Spike Spiegel.
Spike Spiegel. Nobody calls him Spiegel. It's just Spike.
That's just his name, though. It's so random.
Right? But no one calls him that. He has like his little team that he works with in space. This is set in space. I forgot to mention that. The setting is space and it's very futuristic.
This is more science fiction than Steins Gate. Steins Gate, they kind of like, because normally science fiction, they don't explain things. It's just like, yes. Like, you know what I mean? Like Star Trek, they're not trying to really explain everything too hard. But this is just like, it's in space.
Yes.
Spaceships, warp speed, like all the space stuff is there.
Yes. And Spike is this cool dude.
Yep.
Walking around. And he's kind of,
no.
Okay, listen, look.
He is a bungling idiot.
He tries to paint himself as a cool dude.
He has I'll give him, he has street smarts. But in terms of like a cool dude, nah. It's him and because his partner, Jet, they're basically like almost the laughing stock of like everybody knows their name because when they want to get the job done, they get the job done. But they just have a really hard time getting a bounty.
Yeah, there are some clown bounties. Like they kind of do some they kind of get into some, what do you want to say?
Hijinks
When they're going after a bounty.
Mm-hmm.
And they have other characters as such as Ed, which is one of my favorites.
Yep.
Yes, she's very
eccentric.
She's kind of silly. I don't remember why or how she got there. I think they might have, I feel like she might have like hopped onto their ship.
There's a very specific episode
It's
where
been
Ed
years.
gets introduced.
Okay.
Again, it's all spoilers, so we're not going to say
Okay.
about what happens
Yeah.
there. The one thing I did need to mention though is Cowboy Bebop has one of the best soundtracks in all of anime.
It does. If you watch the movie, have you seen the movie yet?
No.
You watch the movie, your
Now,
mind will
she's
be
talking
blown
about-
even more when it comes to the music.
She's talking about the animated movie, the anime movie, not any live action stuff.
No.
And you can find this one where?
You can find this one on Hulu?
Yes.
Yes, Hulu.
Not with a question mark.
You can find this one on Hulu.
On Hulu?
With and it's dubbed. When I originally watched it on Adult Swim, it was in English.
Yep. It is on Funimation, if you decide to go there, but it is on Hulu as well.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's not a very long anime. I think it's only one season, yeah. And
one long season?
I didn't feel like it was that long.
I'm going to look it up. It's a lot of episodes.
I don't know why do I feel like it wasn't that long?
Because you were a teenager.
Yeah, it's been long. It's been years since I've seen it. I just know that it has just always impacted me in how I have chosen the animes I watch.
26 episodes.
Wow.
Yep.
I don't know why I thought it was shorter than that.
I don't know either.
It's really good though. I can't say anything about the ending, but just know it's good.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So the next
genre.
You can take the next genre.
Yeah, the next genre. What? Don't act like you don't watch some romance genres.
I do, but I just want to let you take it away. I talk a lot on this show, so you can go ahead and talk some.
I'm just a sidekick, okay? I'm just a part of the Ashley and Jacob show, okay?
By the way, if you're still listening, I know this episode is running long. If you're still listening and checking out our recommendations for anime, thank you for sticking in. Hit it, Ashley. What is the next genre?
The next genre is romance. We didn't do any shows.
I think people know what romance is.
Do y'all know what romance is?
Type it in the comments below. Do you know what romance is? We want your answer.
Exactly.
Not really. If you do, whatever. But
anyways, the first show is called Gamers. It can only be found on Funimation. We tried to find another romance, like we didn't have that many to suggest, and a lot of them are only on Funimation. I don't know that we've watched. There are some romance animes on Netflix and Hulu, but we have not seen them, or we don't find them good enough to be mentioned.
Yes.
So, Jacob, do you want to tell us about Gamers? I know you were a little more into it yourself. I don't really remember the names of the characters. I just know that there was like a love triangle.
I don't know the names of the characters either. And it wasn't really a love triangle.
I thought it was.
No. They liked him. That's all it was. The girls liked him, and he was just one of those oblivious characters. Like, I'm just going to live my life.
Oh, so all the girls liked him.
Yep.
But he wasn't really seeing that they liked him?
Correct.
Because he's like a little nerd, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, not like a regular nerd that's like a, like a gamer nerd, but he's like just like the kind of awkward, socially awkward kind of person.
Yeah. Basically, this one girl, the most popular girl in school, either she invites him to be a part of her video game club, or she joins a video game club. Can't remember that part. And then from there, it centers around them playing video games and making a ton of video game references. But at the same time, like, she's trying to find love. Now, the next one, though, Recovery of an MMO Junkie.
Mm-hmm.
I think the other title is A Recommendation of a Wonderful Virtual Life.
Mm-hmm.
This one is also on Funimation only. We apologize. Like, literally, not even a sub. It's just Funimation. This is one where I'm going to find the term.
Oh, it's a neat.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so the NEET is not in employment, education, or training.
Mm-hmm.
So in Japan, I believe now this is people who actually, because she doesn't live with her parents or anything. She just like had a giant savings.
Yeah, she just saved up a whole bunch of money
and just left the workforce and just lived and literally just played an MMO 24/7.
Yeah.
That's just what she did.
Yes, and she finds connections on that MMO.
Yeah, she finds connections on that MMO, and small spoiler, some of those connections may exist in the real world.
Yes. Yeah, so they kind of bounce from the real world to the characters in the MMO.
Yeah, and don't they put it from the perspective of them as well?
Yes, it's the perspective of them in the MMO. So basically, yeah, it is that perspective where it's just like the characters in the MMO.
Yeah.
Them being themselves, but people not really knowing if you're really who you say you are.
Yes. They go through all the MMO tropes. I almost want to watch it again.
It was really good. I would watch it again. I'm not even joking. I don't remember entirely everything that happens, but I really did enjoy it. I would say that this is along the lines of a slice of life.
Oh, these are definitely slice of life.
Because they make me happy when I watch them.
All right, so the last one that I'm going to recommend is on Netflix because we had two that are on Funimation. So for anybody that's interested in romance, we're trying to just give you, different options for those that don't want to go to Funimation. Again, we understand that.
Yeah, totally.
So this is my recommendation. Ashley did not like this one only because she doesn't like Street Fighter.
I surely don't.
But the show is called High Score Girl.
Yes.
And it centers around a show where two people play Street Fighter. He basically like this, I think they meet in maybe, I can't remember if it's elementary or middle school. They meet like super early. And like it's a throwback. It's literally when Street Fighter 2 was at the height of its popularity. So like maybe 1993, 1994 or something like that.
Yeah. And aren't they just like going back and forth trying to beat each other's score?
Yeah, but it's more than that.
Okay.
He's in the arcade. Like I think either he's destroying or she's destroying. And so anyway, he ends up going against her and she blasts him out of this world.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's playing with one of the harder characters and then she disappears and then they basically end up forming a relationship solely centered around video games and trying to work out each other's like emotional issues along the way. I think at one point her parents like try to get her to move or something like that. It's a lot going on in that show. I don't want to spoil a lot of it, but for anybody that ever played fighting games, has a significant other or even just friends into it, even if you just want to watch it by yourself, High Score Girl is one that I would highly recommend.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get to our special mentions. These are ones that we really didn't feel like they fell into any particular category. Maybe they do a lot of different things. Maybe they're just slice of lives. Really, it's two slice of lives in one anime that just kind of does a lot of things very well.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ashley, do you want to go ahead and take away the first two of our honorable mentions?
All right. The first one is Restaurant to Another World.
Okay. Now, what is this?
It is basically a restaurant in another world.
Oh, my God. I knew you were going to say that.
Okay.
Oh, I knew it was coming.
Either way, this restaurant, it's like only open on it's only open on a certain day, either of the week or the month.
It's not open. It's open like every day, I thought.
It's not open every day.
It is open every day.
No, I swear.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna look it up.
Okay, you're gonna be wrong.
I'm not gonna be wrong. See how competitive we are?
Ooh, you're gonna be wrong.
It opens during usual business hours, though closed during holidays and weekends. But secretly, it is also open on Saturdays. As on this particular day. Oh.
What? What?
So it's a regular restaurant, but on Saturdays, that's when it creates a doorway to another world.
That's it. Thank you. Exactly. I didn't know about the regular restaurant. I didn't even know it was a regular restaurant. I thought he literally just opened it up to the other world just on this particular day.
Okay. So I'll eat crow on that one.
You sure will. Eat it up. Grill it. Fry it. Do what you gotta do. Either way. So it's basically a restaurant. It's only open on a certain day to another world. And there are doors that pop up basically in different worlds.
Different parts of the world. So for anybody that's familiar with
it's not different parts of the world. It's different worlds, literally.
Now that part I got you. It's different parts of the world because they'll all enter through the same door. But now it's a fantastical world. So it's like an RPG or like your Lord of the Rings type world. So you got elves, dragons,
you're right.
beastmen, all of that. But it's one world. They all enter through the same door of the restaurant. But for them, when they leave and enter the door, they go through a different spot in space. So,
right. And these doors are like in the most random places. Like some people just discover them happenstance. Basically, like I think one was like in a cave and someone had basically stumbled upon it and then they like told their grandchildren about it and then they told their grandchildren about it and then they just go in and they have like magical tasting food and they make the food look so good.
They spent all their animation budget on the food, I'm sure.
I'm just going to tell you, there is no anime out there that has food looking like it does in this anime.
None that we've seen.
None.
It looks so freaking good.
And you feel like there's going to be some sort of like upheaval or some sort of, what do you call it? Conflict. But it never comes. And it's just so satisfying for some reason. And it's just it's just a chill anime to watch and enjoy if you just feel like having a chill day.
Yeah, it's a really good anime. It's a really relaxing anime. Now we have one that has a little bit more. Oh, and again, this one you can only find on Funimation. We have one more for you that is only on Funimation. Ashley, which one is this?
This is called Fruits Basket.
Yes, Fruits Basket. Was it the 2019 version?
The one we watched was the 2018 version.
Something like that.
It was like the 2018 version, but they did originally make Fruits Basket back in what? I think it was like 2000.
Yeah, don't watch that.
Yeah. It's like 2004, 2005. There are people who like that original.
I'm just saying, if you have the option between the two, watch the updated one.
Yeah, watch the updated one. The updated one is much better. I watched the original one. I did really like it. That's what made me rewatch the new one. And I really enjoy this one. I actually forgot entirely about the plot or how it went.
So Fruits Basket centers around a clan, and it's around is it the Chinese zodiac? Or Japanese zodiac? It's all the zodiac animals, basically.
Yes.
So you got the rat, the cat, I don't know
the horse.
I don't know them all.
The dragon, but it's actually
no. Hey, we gonna take that out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's a giant spoiler.
I'm sorry. See, this is why I don't describe things. I spoil it.
So
I spoiled it. Soiled it. That's what I was trying to say.
But yeah, so it centers around this family, this clan that's cursed. And they have members, like 12 members of their family, that whenever they're hugged or touched by the opposite sex, they turn into those animals. Yes,
usually they look like human beings.
No, they don't. It's not that they look like human beings. They are human beings.
Sorry, usually they are human beings.
No, they are human beings.
Look, when you turn into a cat, you're not a human being no more. Okay,
no, but they are humans. They have their human form. Most of the time.
Okay, most of the time they're in a human form.
Oh my gosh.
Or in their human form. Either way, they're humans, okay? And then when they're hugged by the opposite sex, they turn into their zodiac sign, animal. And there is a girl who happens to kind of
She like basically stumbles into the
Yeah,
clan.
she stumbles into them, and she's not in a good place because can we say that? Can we say what happened to her?
The spoilers.
Okay, well, either way, she's not in a good place, and she goes off and basically stays with them for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And
The
a lot. Well, that's spoiler because
okay. Anyway,
either way,
we might take that part out. So
either way, yeah, she decided to go and stay with.
I think you should stop talking. I
Hold
feel
on.
like you're just about to just.
No, I'm not. I'm just gonna say this. Okay, so either way, they invited her to come and stay with them for a little bit, and she just basically starts to learn the family. There kind of becomes a, but that's what happens. And
I think that's a spoiler too, by the way.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay, scratch it. Okay, this is what I'm gonna say, and then. This is what I'm gonna say. Y'all, look. This is like my 5th time trying to.
So close on the mic.
Well, look. This is like my 5th time trying to say this without spoiling stuff. I'm going. Shh. I got one more thing. I'm just gonna re-say it. Okay. I'm like, this is my 5th time. Okay, so they basically, these Zodiac characters invite her to stay there for a little bit of time. And she just gets to know the family and their dramas that they go through. And that's all I will say right now. There's lots of mystery in the family.
You mean all that I will leave in for
yes, that is all Jacob will leave in because I said some things that were spoilers.
It's so much.
I'm sorry.
All
this
right.
is why I don't describe things. I told you.
All right, so the last show.
Oh, did we say that was on Funimation?
Yeah, we said it was on Funimation.
All right, sorry, y'all.
Now, this last show you can find on Hulu and Funimation. This is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Now, the reason why. Now, this is my personal recommendation as if you're getting into anime. For me personally, this is the anime that you should watch. It does just about everything that we've mentioned here before pretty darn well. So it has, like, when I say like the foundations, it's not my favorite anime. It's definitely in my top 5, but it's not like my number 1.
I don't believe it's in your top 5. I bet you will start naming animes and be like, okay, my top 10.
I mean, but the point is, it's structured so well that you can't find a bad part with it. Now, if you do want to get into it, when I say Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, you need to make sure it has the Brotherhood in the title. Yeah,
because the original is kind of goopy.
Yeah, it's not that it's gooby. It's just that
I didn't say gooby. I said goopy.
Goopy?
Yeah, like it's just not as good.
The pacing is very much off. I think that's what ruins it. So make sure if you're going to see it, make sure it has the Brotherhood in the title. It follows 2 brothers. Edward and Alphonse Elric, and for reasons that you'll find out, I think in episode 2, one has a metal arm and a metal leg, and the other one is a talking suit of armor. The entire world focuses on alchemy and the equivalent exchange. So basically, they can turn like a bunch of, like, say if they had a bunch of like metal, wood, something else, they could basically use that and turn it into like radio, or turn concrete into like a concrete spear. So it's centers around alchemic principles. But the reason why I listed it here is because for me, it does the foundations of anime well. Like, it's going to make you laugh with comedy. It's going to make you figure out what's going on with the mystery / the supernatural. In terms of a thriller, it'll literally give you like pulse racing moments where your heart is literally about to pound out of your chest because things are going crazy.
Will it make you cry?
Oh man, it'll get you close. If you don't, you may not cry, but it'll at least get you close.
A lot of these animes we have mentioned will not make you cry.
No.
So don't avoid it if you feel like you're going to start bawling somewhere.
And then they hit you with the action part of it as well. Like, there's great fight scenes. Great scripting, great dialogue. Oh, the conspiracy theories. So it's a part of the political thrillers too. So there's so much that it does that I just couldn't put it in one category.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I was just not interested in it at all because I had originally watched the first one and I thought it was pretty good. I didn't know about
what happened though.
Huh?
Tell them what happened.
I didn't really know about the whole pacing issue with the original, but Jacob introduced me to Full Alchemist Brotherhood. One, I also thought that it was like a spin-off of the original. I didn't know it was a redo of the original, so I avoided it. And I thought I knew what the anime was really about until Jacob had me rewatch it.
Yeah. What were your thoughts? Because we only had you watch 2 episodes, maybe 2.5 so far.
Yeah, we didn't have time for 3, but it was. I would say that I remember what happened in the first 2 episodes happened a lot longer in the original episodes.
Yeah. So
I would say it is a lot faster, and I would probably say it will keep you watching it. I will say that it flowed easier and you won't get like confused or bored with how they tell this new story. It's
not a new
story. This redone story.
Yeah, the retelling of it.
The retelling, yeah.
I think if I remember correctly, Brotherhood sticks closer to the manga. And for those not in the know, manga is basically Japanese comic books. The best way I can describe it.
And they do spin a lot of mangas into animes.
Yeah. That's literally the anime where most anime come from. Anime comes from, there's normally the mangas first, and then the manga's created by a manga artist, and then they turn it into animation. But yeah, before we move on back to Full Metal, it just does so many things right, and it does them very well. And it's for a lot of people, I know a lot of people consider that like the best anime. Maybe not the favorite. Maybe after you've watched 20, 30 different shows, maybe not your favorite, but it is done very well, and it's a very good watch. It's a great ride, great roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
So we're going to move on, and we want to hear from you. So if you have any questions for us, you can leave them on the comment section of this video or ask us a question via Twitter. It doesn't have to be about your coupleship. If you have coupleship questions in relations to gaming, anime, things like that, we'll take those. If you have just questions for us that you just want to ask us, we want to hear from that too. So I actually just pulled a couple questions from my boy Clank, who left a comment on the last video. He left 3 questions, so I'm going to ask them all.
Okay.
All right, so we were talking about Borderlands, and he said, which of the franchises have you played?
For Borderlands?
Yes, which of the franchises have we played?
We've just played fully through Borderlands 1.
Together. Borderlands 2, I don't know why Borderlands 2 didn't click with you. I've beat Borderlands 2 way back, Borderlands 1 and 2 when they first released.
It's not that it didn't click together. It's just the last time we was playing it, I got really motion sick.
Is that it? So,
yes.
Do you want to go back and try it again?
We can try it again. Maybe it will be fine. But sometimes that first person really screws my equilibrium
really
up.
Okay. The next question he asked is, do we still have PT on my device?
Yes.
When after that stuff went down with Kojima and Konami, I specifically left it on my PS4. I actually kept my original PS4 for that reason when we originally sold our other PS4. So yeah, I still have PT on the device. And then the last question he asked is, have either of you played Portal 2?
No, I haven't even played Portal 1.
I have played Portal 2, not Portal 1. It has co-op. It actually has co-op in it.
Yeah. We do know about it. I know about the game. I just haven't played it.
Again, with Ashley being motion sick, though, I don't know if she'd be able to play Portal 2.
I know I can't.
Portal
I've watched
2
people play it, and I'm like, there's too much spinning.
It's a trip.
Going through upside down. I can't do it.
So, yeah, that's a pretty good co-op game, though.
Yeah.
Pretty fun. So, yeah, but if you have any questions for us, leave them in the comments, or you can find us on Twitter at Till Death Respawn, spelled TIL Death Respawn.
Yep.
And Ashley, did you want to say anything before we close?
I'm going to say, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell button for a notification for when our next episode comes out.
That's right. Well, this has been another episode of the Jacob and Ashley Show.
The Ashley and Jacob Show.
Thank you for listening and watching, and we hope that you all have a great day.
There is an anime called Do Ra Ra Ra.
I thought it was do rah 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 rah.
Do Ra Ra Ra.
How many rah rah rahs are in do rah rah rah?
I'm pretty sure there's just 3.
3?
4 is a little much.
It does seem like 4 is a lot. Do rah rah rah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.